the White House faced the task of addressing yet another controversial statement made by President Biden. In a recent speech, he claimed to have cancer, although he is currently cancer-free. During his address, he attributed his previous cancer diagnosis to the actions of oil companies, and reminisced about witnessing oil slicks on car windshields during his youth. However, the White House clarified that President Biden had been treated for skin cancer many years ago, which was caused by sun exposure and unrelated to petrochemicals. Nonetheless, he utilized this opportunity to criticize the oil industry. While President Biden is presently COVID positive, despite being quadruple vaccinated, he assures the public that he is experiencing only mild symptoms. President Biden, unfortunately, will not be able to deliver a speech on gun control and crime in Pennsylvania. He recently expressed his well-being and apologized for his absence at the event. We extend our best wishes to the president for a swift recovery. The United States military is facing the potential loss of 260,000 service members who refuse to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. These individuals argue that getting vaccinated infringes upon their rights. The government now faces the dilemma of either compromising the military's strength or moving forward from the COVID-19 situation, while allowing them to continue serving our country. Dominion, the voting systems manufacturer, has filed a lawsuit against Fox News, seeking $1.6 billion in damages. Dominion accuses Fox News of knowingly spreading false claims of election fraud during the previous presidential election. The credibility of Dominion voting machines faced significant criticism after prominent Republicans and news outlets cast doubts on their reliability. Fox News has successfully met the January 1st deadline for submitting the requested documents, despite their attempts to have the case dismissed. A judge has ruled in favor of moving forward with the proceedings. Recently, there have been reports suggesting that President Joe Biden might declare a national climate emergency. This decision could have implications for the public. Law professor Mark Nevitt explains that by declaring the emergency, President Biden would gain access to the Defense Production Act slush fund, which provides funding, primarily in the form of loans, to various clean energy groups. These loans could potentially be forgiven. However, to implement and distribute these funds, the involvement of the U.S. military and approval from Congress would likely be necessary. This approach allows the president to initiate action without immediate congressional approval, with the hope that both the military and Congress will eventually support his efforts. I would like to hear your thoughts on this matter. Do you believe that the president is on the verge of declaring a national climate emergency due to warmer weather? Despite warnings from President Biden and concerns from the U.S. military about the potential consequences, Nancy Pelosi remains determined to proceed with her planned trip to Taiwan. This visit is considered significant for a couple of reasons. Firstly, China strongly opposes her visit, perceiving it as a threat to their military and the nation as a whole. Secondly, as the third highest-ranking official in the U.S. government, Pelosi's trip raises concerns about the chain of command in the event of any unforeseen circumstances affecting the president or vice president. The U.S. Armed Forces also view this visit as a potential threat. However, Pelosi has made the decision to proceed with her plans, disregarding the warnings and objections. BlackRock, the global investment management company overseeing a portfolio of over $10 trillion, has faced allegations of covertly influencing the U.S. government. However, they have recently acknowledged a substantial loss of $1.7 trillion in 2022. This significant financial setback not only affects their clients' profitability, but also damages their reputation. BlackRock is currently facing criticism and negative media attention. It serves as a reminder that even the largest and most renowned investment firms are not immune to losses in the stock market. Some suggest that following the investment strategies of individuals like Paul Pelosi could have yielded better results. I am now profiting and would like to express gratitude to Paul Pelosi. Recently, I made the decision to sell my Ford stock, and it seems I did so just in time. Ford Motor Company has announced plans to lay off 8,000 long-term employees as they shift their focus towards becoming an electric car company, aligning with President Biden's agenda. Their intention is to cease production of combustion engine cars and transition entirely to electric vehicles. This move has resulted in the outsourcing of numerous jobs and the termination of loyal American employees. Unfortunately, this news coincides with the U.S. government releasing data indicating that 251,000 Americans filed for first-time unemployment claims, marking the highest figure since November of the previous year. This surge in layoffs suggests a potential recession on the horizon, with companies likely tightening their operations, and a potential wave of layoffs reminiscent of what occurred in March 2022. While I don't wish for such circumstances to arise, it is important to stay informed about current news trends. Speaking of which, Russian President Vladimir Putin has recently issued a warning about an impending new world order during a speech in Moscow. He criticized the West for pursuing a model of complete domination and questioned the right of Western leaders to impose their rules based on a sense of exclusivity, labeling it inherently racist and neo-colonial. Putin further claimed that the West seemed incapable of offering its own vision for the future, prompting him to engage in discussions with Turkish and Iranian leaders in an effort to forge a new alliance. It appears that Putin may be planning to establish a new dominant global power by creating a new country. While it may not come as a surprise to many viewers that Putin is seeking to undermine the United States and its interests, it is quite shocking that a NATO partner, Turkey, is assisting him in these efforts. This development follows the United States granting permission for Turkey to purchase substantial amounts of military weaponry and allowing Sweden to join NATO. The U.S. denies any quid pro quo arrangement, but the timing raises eyebrows. It now seems that Turkey may be realigning itself with Russia, possibly driven by its currency's significant devaluation and rampant inflation compared to the United States. Turkey may see Russia as a more promising ally for their rebuilding efforts rather than continuing to rely on NATO and their association with the United States. This story has the potential to become significant, and I will continue to monitor it closely. Many people are concerned that we may be on the brink of another world war. Unfortunately, the NATO sanctions imposed on Russia have inadvertently strengthened the country in its currency, the ruble, making Russia more powerful and wealthier than ever before. With this advantage, Russia holds significant leverage on the global stage. I will keep you updated on any developments in this matter. Shifting back to the United States, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has identified the legalization of marijuana as his top priority. This may come as a surprise to some, considering other pressing issues such as passing a new gay marriage bill or codifying federal-level abortion rights, which Democrats have been promising for decades. Nevertheless, Schumer's primary focus is nationwide marijuana legalization. Yesterday, I mentioned that the January 6th committee was holding its final hearing today. They have acknowledged their inability to locate deleted Secret Service texts, but have decided not to call Trump's detail agents to testify. This decision comes despite Ms. Hutchinson's testimony alleging that Trump reached over the limo partition, grabbed her will, and attempted to choke his Secret Service agent. However, it is confirmed that Trump was not in the limo but rather in an SUV, and the Secret Service states that these events did not occur. Here's the surprising twist: the Department of Homeland Security has instructed the Secret Service to halt their search for the deleted texts. They claim that there is likely no cover-up and that the texts were genuinely lost during the transition to a new phone system in preparation for a new president. It is indeed peculiar that they are no longer interested in finding those texts, and that Trump's driver or Secret Service agent will not be testifying on television. One would expect that after such explosive testimony, corroboration from the individuals involved would be sought. I will provide updates on tomorrow's video regarding the information disclosed during today's committee TV channel show, which will focus on the 187 minutes following Trump's speech. highlighting what the president